Hey guys, welcome to my new video. Today I'm gonna work on my BMW E38. Since I bought this car a few months ago, it has been 6 or 7 months, I'm not completely sure. But since then I haven't drove this car, I haven't done anything on it. I just left the car and did nothing with it. But recently I had to think about reviving this car because she had tons of small issues and some big issues. But last night, in the spur of the moment, I had to at least try to fix some of the smaller issues. For example, the LPG system was not working. I had to deal with that. Also, the lock mechanisms, the two lock mechanisms on the bonnet were broken. I wasn't able to close the bonnet because it wasn't able to open if I close it, of course. So I had to fix them as well. The problem is not completely gone, but for the time being it is okay. Now I can safely close the bonnet. The other thing that I did was to play around with the stoplights because there was a problem. So now I'm left with some big issues and couple of small ones, but I need the car to be running ASAP. And I can drive the car as it is. It isn't a problem for me anymore, but since I bought the car, the front brake discs I think are damaged. I think they are bent. At least one of them is the one on the left side. On the right, the right hand, it is left because I'm facing the car, but it is on the right side, the passenger side. And the other thing is that my speedometer doesn't work, the kilometers are not going anywhere, it doesn't show any mileage or anything, and all the lights that are for the ABS system and traction control and stuff are on. So I'm guessing probably it can be a sensor, but since I don't have the time, and immediately after buying the car, I was so eager to find out what is going on that I bought some spare parts. They are second-hand, but in the spur of the moment I decided to buy them just for spare parts, not to use them, but as an insurance, just in case to have them around because they were affordable and the type of car this is, I just wanted to have some parts for it. I intend to replace the brake discs with brand new and brake pads and stuff, but for the time being, because I really need the car to be running at the moment, I don't have the time to deal with this, and I have some other stuff that are on my mind and are not allowing me to start replacing everything the proper way with new parts. It is gonna have to wait for at least for a bit. It is gonna have to wait, but in the meanwhile I need to drive the car, and I will attempt in this video to use the spare parts that I have and fit them on the car, and we'll see if the brake system is gonna start running again, is gonna work, because at the moment it is very uncomfortable to drive the car, and this is the reason I didn't drive it. And the other thing is that this isn't the proper way. Of course, I haven't made any diagnostics on the car, I haven't figured out the real reason. It might be a ABS sensor that is to be blamed, or cable somewhere that is broken, loose connection or anything. But still, since I have the part, I have the ABS module, and these cars are known that the ABS modules are at fault. I don't know if the replacement module is working, but still. So without further ado, I'm gonna start disassembling. This is gonna be the main issue of this video, my main focus, to replace the ABS module and the brake discs on this car, and we'll see how the things are gonna go, if the car is gonna be ready to hit the road once again. Well guys, this is the ABS module that I have to replace, but I think that first I will check if my spare one is the same. And if it is, I will start by lifting the car and removing and replacing the brake discs. If my replacements are okay, to me at least, I will inspect them visually if they are better and if they fit to this car. So I'm gonna replace them because it is kind of harder and more time consuming. Then I'm gonna dive into the ABS system and I will try to fix that as well. So forgive me that the car is kind of dirty at the moment, but as I mentioned, I haven't drove it and it was gathering dust for several months already, and I will try and wash it a little bit later. But for the moment, since I'm gonna be working and probably most likely I'm gonna make a mess around the car, it wasn't okay, at least to me for the moment, to start by washing it. Usually it is nice to have a clean surface when I work, but since I know what is gonna happen, I will most definitely have to wash the car afterwards, so I decided to skip that step for the moment. Hopefully it won't be a big deal for you guys. So let's start by replacing the brake discs. Well guys, I have removed the both wheels, and these are the old discs, the originals that are on the car. And you can see this area over here and this area over here, and they have an edge as well. And overall condition of these discs is awful compared to the ones. These are the ones that I just unpacked, that I have ordered, the second-hand ones, and they almost don't have an edge and visually look better, at least at first glance. I don't know over here if this is gonna be an issue, but still. And this is the ABS module that is gonna fit, but I wanna show you one more nice surprise that I just found. My spring is broken over here, so this is one more item that I have to fix on the suspension, but most likely, by the looks of the shock absorber, I will have to replace all of it, not only the spring, but we'll get into that a little bit later, as I mentioned. For now, let's focus on the braking system and see what is gonna happen. So guys, I installed the new old brake disc, and this is the difference. This is the old one and this is the replacement. So even though they are old, they are in very nice condition compared to the old ones. But this is not what I want to show you. As I was installing this thing, I saw something suspicious and I ran in yet another problem. I just saw this bolt. You can see that is damaged, and this bolt has damaged the hub, the wheel hub. And now I'm gonna try to repair the thread, but fortunately when I bought the brake discs, just in case, I decided why not buy a wheel hub as well. Over here I have the hub with the disc, and I decided that it's gonna be a good idea to have one just in case. And in this situation, this is what is gonna save me, because this hub is front left hand hub, exactly the same one. So if I'm not able to repair this one, which I doubt, I'm gonna end up replacing it with this. It's not gonna be today, but in some point this hub is gonna replace the broken one. Just by a pure coincidence, I was lucky enough to have the one that is broken. I'm hoping that there won't be any problems with the rest of them, but probably someone has screwed this the wrong way somehow, probably with power gun, I don't know, but you can see how damaged this boat is. So okay, yet another problem that I have to solve. But let's get back to work. I'm sorry guys, but the camera died while I was working, and without noticing I was so focused on disassembling the ABS module that I didn't notice that the camera has turned off, and unfortunately she didn't save my video. I don't know in what point she died. The battery was full. What happened is a mystery, but still I'm sorry for not being able to shoot this. I'm gonna focus my attention to the assembling of the new ABS module, and hopefully you'll be able to figure out what I did to disassemble it. It is the same thing, so I'm sorry for that, but sometimes this thing happens. The idea is that there is on both 6mm with 10mm end over here, and the two pins that are just lying in these bushings over here, the ground cable that is behind the ABS, and these pipes that has to be disconnected, and pretty much this is it. So now I'm gonna start assembling the new one. Sorry, the connector, one of the most important parts of the ABS module, I forgot about it, but still this is not a big deal. Let's get back to the assembling part. So the new module is in place. I even tested the brakes, but I have to drain the air out. I have to bleed the brake system in order for it to start working again, because now the brake pedal is soft. But the unfortunate part is that the car still has the ABS light on. I don't know if I have to raise the fault code, but I think that this ABS module is not working as well. Unfortunately, my issue is gonna be the same. I don't believe that this will fix it, but still I'm gonna drain the air out and I will assemble everything back and we'll test it and see what is going on. Sadly, my mistake is that I didn't started the process from the get-go the right way, but still we'll see. So back to draining the air from the brakes and assembling the car and eventually test. This is all I can do at the moment. The brake discs in the back are even worse than the ones in the front, so there is no doubt about it. I have to start and buy new discs and repair the whole system, the brake system, but I want to show you how bad is the suspension as well. It is a horrific scene out here, so most definitely I will have to start and deal with this the proper way. You can see the wheel arches are just as awful, so this car needs a complete overhaul. The paint job is awful as well, so I have a lot of work in front of me that I have to be more serious about. Unfortunately, I have found a ABS sensor in the trunk. I don't know if it is for the front or the back. It doesn't look like it is from this car. I don't know what is going on. I will have to find out what is going on, if this is from this car at all, or what is the deal with the system. Well guys, since I didn't have any luck with the ABS module, I decided to start disassembling and measuring all the sensors and stuff. And then I remembered that probably it is gonna be wiser if I search and I found the proper connector for this car. I had it all along, so I connected the diagnostic tool that I have, and now you can see that all the systems are in red and there are a bunch of fault codes that I'm gonna try and see one by one, and we'll see what is gonna come out of this, if this is gonna help me solve my problem, because I measured the resistance on the ABS sensors and I believe that the ones in the back have some sort of problem, but I'm not completely sure, so we'll start by reading the fault codes and we'll see what is gonna happen, what is gonna come out of it. So hopefully I'm gonna find the right path to solving this problem, so let's get back to work. Well, I have the new set of two sensors for the back and it took me a while to get them. As you can see, they are Delphi. I don't know if they are gonna work yet, we'll see together, but I was forced to get these ones. These sensors, I mean, there was no option for me, because this is the sensor that I removed from the car and the other one is the same with the gray harness, and this thing was over here with the blue harness, was in the trunk. But what is the difference? The blue harness is with a different pattern on the locking inside of the harness. As for the gray one has two pins that are straight, and the blue one has one straight and one on the side, two different pins. So when I searched for this sensor, we found out that it has to be with the gray harness to match the car, because the ones They are available. They come with the blue harness, but they are all the same, like this thing, and not matching the harness of the car. So we are left with only the gray ones, and the gray ones, there were the original ABS sensors, which were insanely expensive. So for the moment I can't afford to buy any of them. So the other option was some extremely cheap ones with the gray harness, and this was in the middle. This was the one that is more, I don't know how to put this, but it made sense to buy one of these because there was only this and then the original ones, and actually this is basically the middle of the range. There was no other option for me. So if this works, okay. If not, we'll see what is gonna happen. I don't know, I don't want to make any assumptions at the moment, but the truth is that I'm gonna install it. At first glance, this thing is exactly the same matching this thing. I haven't unpacked this, so I don't know what the resistance is gonna be, but I'll measure them beforehand just for information, and I'm gonna install them anyway, and that is gonna show me what is gonna happen with this problem, if it is gonna be solved or not. But this is it, guys. This is my only viable option at the moment, so I'm gonna proceed with it. The next step is gonna be mounting them on the both sides, and from what I have read online, I think that the error code should go off when I tried to move the car, because then the ABS module is gonna read the sensors if they are working correctly or not, and it is gonna eventually the code is gonna go off on its own without erasing it with the scanning tool. But either way, it is not a problem. If I have to, I'm gonna erase it with the scanning tool. I'm gonna start by saying that the sensors are replaced, everything is assembled, the brakes are bled, and on top of that you can see over here that the old module, ABS module, is back in place. The spare one is over here, and this is because of the paint and the condition, the outside condition of this module. I don't like it, I have to clean it, I have to prep it if I want to use it. But for the moment, from what I can tell, the resistance and stuff I have checked on the both modules and they seem to be working. I don't know if the ABS pump, it works on the boat, but the electronic part is working on the both sensors, on the both modules. So I decided to go back with my module, the original one for the car. You can see how much cleaner and nice looking it is, and it was pure cosmetic change, nothing else. And how I replaced the sensors was a bit interesting for me to show you that, because this is one of the sensors that I took without no problems at all. It was stuck, this part, in the wheel hub, but I was able to move it around and eventually spin it a little bit, and this thing came out. But on the other wheel, look at this. First of all, the harness that is on the car remained inside. The part that was sticking out broke, so I had to cut this piece off, and let me show you, this is the piece. I had to use my Dremel tool and cut this thing so I can get the harness from the inside of the sensor. And then when I decided to remove it, look at this. This broke, then this piece broke, then eventually this piece broke, and the rest of the sensor remained inside of the hub. So I was forced to use a drill bit. This is approximately 14 millimeter 13.5, and I used the 12mm drill bit to drill through the sensor along the whole hub and eventually to get it out like this. But fortunately I was able to do that without damaging the hub or the bearing that is on the end of the ABS sensor. So now I think that with the new sensor, I cleaned everything and installed the new sensors, and I think that everything is gonna be fine. I have to test the car. But for now I'm gonna install the wheels back and drop the car on the ground and off to test it. But for now I want to show you that when I installed the sensors, I didn't have to clear any fault codes or anything, because the lights, I'm not gonna start the car, I'm just gonna switch it over here and voila, unbelievable, incredible, the ABS light is off. And on top of that, I believe that the speedometer works as well, but we are gonna check it together a little bit later today. I'm not gonna end the video here, but I won't show you how I install the tires. It is tedious and it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna jump and test the car, and together we'll find out how the ABS works, because probably if the speed sensors are okay and we have the correct speed and stuff, it is gonna be a mystery if the ABS is working the way it's supposed to, not to engage in very low speeds and stuff. The ASC, if it is gonna work, the cruise control, if it is gonna work and stuff, because these were all the things that were broken as well, not working, along with the speedometer and the mileage sensor. So I'm sorry for this video being so long and tedious and chaotic on top of that, but what can I do? I'm way too excited to think straight and I'm making a mess out of this video, but hopefully you'll be able to forgive me for that and look past that and enjoy as me the final result, which is gonna be successful. I'm hoping, truly hoping. So let me get all the tires back on the car and we'll go and test the vehicle to finally see how she's gonna perform, the car. I mean, I'm incredibly excited for this moment. So I'm getting back to work. One thing I wanted to mention, now for sure I know the resistance of these sensors, and if you're wondering and you need to use a reference when you compare your sensors if they are working or not and you want to measure them, on the front I discovered that the both sensors on this car at the moment are around 3 kilo ohms, and at the back are also around 3 kilo ohms, but at the front, to be exact, were 3.06 kilo ohms. These, the new ones at the back, were the both of them at 2.98 kilo ohms, which is roughly plus minus 80 kilo ohms difference, which can be because of the difference in the sensors, or because most likely these are a little bit older, and you know, as they age they give little bit of difference in the resistance. But this is where you need to be with these BMWs, apparently, according to the fact that now I don't have any fault codes and everything seems to be working. And if you have an open circuit or you have incredibly high resistance, these were reading something like 650 mega ohms, 850 mega ohms, the other one, something like that, crazy stuff. There is probably a faulty ABS sensor, so you need to replace it. And of course you can check the circuit for resistance if you have circuit from the ABS harnessed wherever it is, in the back and the front, to the ABS module. And basically this is it. So I'm getting back to work as I said, and a little bit later we are gonna test the car, so I won't jump to conclusions, but hopefully everything is gonna be okay. So back to work. Well guys, it's about time to finish this video. Finally, I can proudly show you the final result, and I can safely say that the Delphi ABS sensors are working with this car. There is no problem with them. The ABS is working fine the way it's supposed to. The traction control is working fine. You can see there are no fault codes at the moment, and even my speedometer works as well. Now I'm gonna show you the proof of that, and you'll see how nice the car is driving. You can see that my speedometer works now. I know that I haven't showed you, but if you don't believe me, you can check out the video when I bought the car and then the speedometer was not working. But you can see there are no codes coming out and everything is working. So I'm gonna stop for a moment. I think the repair was successful and I'm happy with the result. Now I have proper brakes. You saw me brake and there was no problem with the brake discs as well, and the brakes are fine. So at the moment the car is drivable. You can see the dashboard is looking great, no lights or anything at all. It engages in every gear and stuff without any problems. So I hope that this video was helpful or interesting to you. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay tuned. Hope to see you in my next videos, and bye for now.